So we'll start with the new chapter, chapter 1, which is the tiny teacher. I am sure that you all must be knowing the meaning of tiny. Tiny means very small. So, can you name the smallest insect you have seen and the wisest too? Is it the fly? No, it isn't. Actually, we have to think about the tiny one and the wisest too, means the intelligent one also. Okay. Then, is it the mosquito? Look at it. It's so tiny, isn't it? But I don't think that mosquito is the wisest one. So, think of some other one. Then I think it must be the worm, isn't it? But no, it's not too. Know what? It is the ant. The commonest, the smallest, but the wisest insect. The story of an ant's life sounds almost untrue, but people have kept ants as pets and have watched their daily behavior closely. Which mean the ant is a very small insect, but it is very intelligent and hardworking. It is wiser than any fly or earthworm. The story of an ant's life sounds almost untrue, which means unbelievable. But watching the behavior of the commonest ant can teach us a lot. So, we know a number of facts about this tiny, hardworking, and intelligent creature. An ant uses its feelers or antennae to talk to other ants by passing messages through them. Feelers means an organ of touch in it, and antennae means either of the two thin long parts on the heads of some insects. And we know many things about this tiny creature, that it uses its feelers or antennae to pass messages through them to other ants. Here, watch a row of ants moving up or down the wall. Each ant greets all the others coming from the opposite direction by touching their feelers, means by their organ of touch. There are many kinds of ants. The commonest among them are the black or red ones. We have seen them since we were children, but haven't paid enough attention to them. Yes, me too. So, where do they live? They live in their comfortable homes called nests or ant hills. So we know there are different kinds of ants, and the ants can be black or red also. They live comfortably in large and high homes called nests or ant hills. So each nest or ant hills has hundreds of little rooms and passages. And in some of these rooms, the queen ant lays eggs. Others are nurseries for the young ones called grubs. Grubs means the young insects, and nurseries means the place meant for the newborns. Workers have their reserved quarters. Reserved quarters means their separate rooms, and they spend most of their time searching for food. Some rooms serve as storehouses for this food. Soldiers have separate barracks. No worker has ever tried to live in a soldier's house. No soldier has ever gone out searching for food. And no worker or soldier or cleaner has ever harmed a grub. So, some rooms are used as storehouses. And soldiers have their separate barracks. Barracks means long rooms for soldiers. And no soldier, no worker has ever tried to interfere in others' work. And even no worker, no soldier, or you can say no cleaner has ever harmed or hurt a grub, means the young one. So you see, an ant's life is very peaceful. Each does its share of work intelligently and bravely and never fights with the other members of the group. So, ants live in peace and they do their share of work intelligently and bravely also. I think we should also learn something from them. We should never fight with others. And whenever we do anything, we should do it intelligently and bravely, and we should do it honestly too. So, children, please go through the chapter and the deeds done by the ants, and we can learn a lot from this small teacher. Now it's time to enhance your vocabulary. The first one we have antennae, which means either of the two thin long parts on the heads of some insects. Barracks, which mean long rooms for soldiers. Then the third one, behavior, which means activities. Next we have enough attention, which means to look carefully. Next we have feelers, an organ of touch in insects. Grubs, the young insect. Then nurseries, the place meant for the newborns. Passages means ways. Quarters, which mean rooms. Reserved, which means separate. And the last one, worm, which means a long thin creature with no bones. Now it's time for the comprehension check. I'm sure that you all know the answers of these questions, but then also we'll go through these questions once. The first one, the story of an ant's life sounds almost untrue. The italicized phrase means number one, highly exaggerated, number two, too remarkable to be true, number three, not based on facts. You have to choose the italicized phrase almost untrue meaning from out of these three options. Second one we have complete the following sentences. Number one, an ant is the smallest. You have to complete the sentence. Number two, we know a number of facts about an ant's life because. This also you have to complete. And the last one, number three, in what ways is an ant's life peaceful? Dear children, this is the first part of the lesson, and the second part will continue tomorrow. So before we move on to our next part, the second part, it's very necessary to understand the first one. For that, go through the lesson once again. Till then, take care and thank you all.